So let's talk about fanboys, or fangirls, whatever. A good place to start is what they are. The Urban Dictionary definition is pretty much all you need, but the key part is this: an extreme follower of a particular medium or concept, known for a complete lack of objectivity in relation to their preferred focus, usually argue with circular logic that they refuse to acknowledge. Every flaw is spun into semi-virtues, and everything else blown to comedic, complementary proportions. There you go. Fanboys don't care about how good something actually is. They're blind to quality and like their shit no matter what. They give things way too much credit. Fanboys are markedly different from regular fans, as regular fans are just people who like something. Fanboys are basically fans that don't have brains. Let X be the object of a fanboy's affection. In our particular case, any form of written work. Then, to that fanboy, the following statements are true. Everything associated with X is awesome. All of the characters in X behave consistently, have unfathomable depth, interact believably, and develop reasonably. The plot of X is absolutely, under every circumstance, free of plot holes, and has perfect pacing. Anything anyone deems to be a plot hole, asshole, or any other form of bad writing makes sense, and is actually not bad writing at all. Critics of X are haters who aren't smart enough to get X. X is too deep for them. Anyone who insults X should hang themselves and or jump off a bridge and or kill themselves in any other manner because their mothers always hated them anyway. Whether or not any of these statements regarding the quality of X are actually true to any degree doesn't matter. To the fanboy, these statements are infallible facts, or at least any flaw of X, no matter how major it may actually be, is insignificant. The fanboy litmus test is actually pretty damn simple. How do they respond to criticism of the subject in question? If they respond with logical counter-arguments or admit that you've made a valid point, they aren't a fanboy. However, if they just immediately resort to name-calling and other irrelevant ad hominem attacks, they are a fanboy. They usually respond to criticisms of the object of their affection with name-calling and saying LOL or LMAO a lot. They pretty much just foam at the mouth and throw a tantrum when you criticize their shit. Some people try really hard to criticize things without offending anyone. If you want it to seem peaceful and not looking for flames, you could be nice about it, but then many fanboys will foam at the mouth at any criticism of the object of their affection at all. No matter how civil of a tone you take, some will still perceive it as a direct personal attack, get butthurt, and throw a fit. In the end, it's impossible to avoid upsetting everyone, as there will always be irrational imbeciles who believe that the thing they idolize is completely beyond criticism. I was talking to someone about why I rated things the way I did. As conversations normally go, the topic changed from one thing to another, from Eden of the East, to Code Geass, to Hyoka, to Haruhi Suzumiya, etc. Every time I pointed out problems with something, he would admit that I had made a valid point that he could not counter. Sometimes he would say, yes, but I also think ... The point is, he discussed things in a rational and civil manner. I was really surprised by it. People like that are an endangered species nowadays. I'd like to introduce another viewer classification, the casual viewer. Casual viewers will at least acknowledge things an anime does wrong and hold those flaws against it, rather than only rating based on how much they like something. Casual viewers are the midpoint between fanboys and critics. They don't take it as seriously as either, but they aren't as stupidly blind as fanboys. Regarding that example, most other people would have gotten butthurt and responded by throwing a fit. Oh, speaking of butthurt, let's talk about that. It's one of the most misused words on the internet. An obvious recent example is the fanboys posting comments on my videos and flaming and drooling with statements like, "Your videos are shit" and "You suck." They like to try to reflect butthurt back on those insulting their shit by telling me I'm butthurt. That's not how it works. They're obviously confused. The definition of butthurt from Urban Dictionary: an inappropriately strong negative emotional response from a perceived personal insult, characterized by strong feelings of shame, frequently associated with a cessation of communication and overt hostility towards the aggressor. Someone who is butthurt acts personally offended by criticism of the shit they love. Someone criticizing something in an intelligent manner is not the same thing as being butthurt. Not by a long shot. If you criticize something and someone else calls you butthurt, they are butthurt. Here's a little guide you can use to determine the quality of someone's argument. As you can see, fanboys live at the bottom of the disagreement hierarchy. The vast majority of their responses are either ad hominem or name-calling. Occasionally, they'll respond to tone. If you're really lucky, you'll find one that will manage to offer up a contradiction, once or twice. Maybe. Here are specific examples of comments I screenshotted from my Sword Art Online reaction videos. Reaction videos which, if you've seen, level completely legitimate complaints against the show for its awfulness. They just prove how stupid the fan base for the show is. So because there are a lot of stupid fucks in the world means it's good? Flawless logic! Also, Shit Farts Online is an anime all about self-insertion and wish fulfillment. So it's pretty obvious that you're a colossal hypocrite for calling me a social reject. Yeah dude, you're totally right. You completely destroyed all the points I leveled against it and put me flat on my ass with your superior intellect. I should totally do what you said and go hang myself. This is someone's vain attempt at defending Shit Farts Online's assholes. Also, in denial about their fanboyism. Classical ad hominem. So basically, you had to make a YouTube account just to let everyone know that you're a retarded fanboy. Also, if you diss on Usagi Drop, you are an enemy of mankind. You are essentially an oxygen thief. Perfect example of an idiot who doesn't even know what butthurt is. Imbecile trying to use the fact that it's not real as an excuse for its shit awesome writing. This kid's probably like 10 years old. Making shit up about me contradicting myself, and not even trying to explain how I'm contradicting myself. Saying that awful writing isn't a valid thing to criticize, and then name calling. If anyone says anything along these lines, it's clear they're a fanboy, and don't even try to hide it. The amount of stupid in this comment is astounding. He seriously says that he doesn't care if I gave good reasons for it being horrible. He thinks it's the best anime of this season and the last, and that it's pure awesome. Okay, bro. Also, thanks for completely butchering the English language. Probably the most abused word on the internet is hater. Haters are people who bash things for no legitimate reason. Critics point out legitimate problems with things. Hater is the most non-insulting insult in existence. It's a waste of breath to say it, and a waste of energy to type it. So is haters gonna hate. It's just inane dribble that essentially acknowledges that you lack the ability to come up with an intelligent response. Anyways, back to fanboys. Let's summarize what makes a fanboy a fanboy. Fanboys like to think popularity is somehow indicative of quality. Bandwagon. In fact, they are never really able to give reasons why something is good. They like to repeat things like, X is so awesome, or X is fun, and other generic, empty assertions of that sort. They never use actual objective facts to back up their claims. Fanboys give X way too much credit in every case. They like to think characters have suddenly achieved infinite depth after a single event. They like to think the story is suddenly a perfectly written masterpiece after a single ass pull, which they somehow interpret as some sort of cool, unexpected twist. They like to think characters suddenly have a deep and meaningful romance after one out-of-place confession that doesn't have any logical build-up between the characters. Fanboys downplay, deny, or ignore big problems. They think that objects of their idolization are beyond reproach. Anyone who criticizes something they love is just a hater, a non-insult, which, let me remind you, isn't even worth speaking. It certainly doesn't refute any valid points leveled against it. Fanboys are unable to respond rationally to criticisms. They get butthurt. Their arguments are usually nothing more than name-calling and ad hominem attacks. Fanboys think that more of X is always, under any and every circumstance, good, just because it is more of X, regardless of whether it actually is or not. A recent example is the new Code Geass Akito the Exiled shit. Code Geass fanboys are going nuts over it just because it's more Code Geass, even though the only one out so far is pretty bad. The topic of milking and the loss of quality that comes with it is a topic for another time, but what's important for this discussion is that fanboys don't care if milking destroys a franchise, since they don't think about quality. However, they love quantity. Finally, fanboys are beyond reason. Attempting any form of rational discussion with them is a waste of time, as logic and intelligent speech are beyond them. In short, fanboys are retards, and the worst kind of fan of any medium. Their outstanding stupidity and disregard of objective quality result in absolute garbage becoming popular and receiving undue praise and recognition, causing objectively superior works to be overshadowed and forgotten. If you don't want to be a critic, at least be a casual viewer or a regular fan. Don't be a fanboy.